Welcome to the lore of Darksiders. In celebration of the long-awaited Darksiders 3, I decided to make this mini-series. I plan on covering the lore of Darksiders 1 and 2, the Abomination Vault novel, and the two comics. Now let us begin with Heaven, Hell, and the Balance.
Since the dawn of time, the armies of heaven and hell have waged an endless war. Drawn to the conflict was the Charred Council, an entity bound by ancient laws to preserve order and balance. It held that any great power, unchecked, threatened the very fabric of the universe. In time, heaven and hell came to honor the council and its laws, for none were beyond the swift and terrible justice of the council's enforcers, a fearsome brotherhood known as the Four Horsemen. Amid the turmoil, the first humans emerged. The council foretold that these weak but cunning creatures would someday be integral to the balance. Thus, a third kingdom was named, the Kingdom of Man. By order of the council, a truce was forged between heaven and hell. The great pact was bound by 7 seals, to be broken at the appointed time, when man's kingdom stood ready for the end war. A battle that would bring balance and determine the ultimate fate of the 3 kingdoms.
The apocalypse has begun. Angels and demons plummet from the sky to battle on Earth, yet mankind is helpless against the sudden onslaught. The rider of the red horse, War, arrived on Earth as well after the call was given. Making his way through leagues of demons and angels alike, his power suddenly began to diminish. War managed to find the leader of Heaven's Hellguard, Abaddon, and his second-in-command, Uriel. Abaddon was shocked to see War, stating the 7th seal was not broken. Immediately afterward, the demon general Straga emerged from a lake of lava, crushing Abaddon to death. After a brief struggle with Straga, the weakened War also found himself defeated by the demon's immense power. War awakened in front of the Charred Council and their judgment. They declared the End War had been incited by the Horseman, and he joined the Destroyer, a powerful demon, in claiming victory. War was stripped of his power, sword, and horse, and sentenced to death with his soul imprisoned in the Abyss, a dangerous realm of shadow. War was determined to prove his innocence. He managed to persuade the Charred Council to send him to Earth to find the truth, and if he couldn't, the demons would carry out his death sentence. However, he was bound to an entity known as the Watcher, who would kill War if he disobeyed the Council's orders. War's sword and power were returned, though in a significantly weaker state. He was told to seek out Vulgrim, a demon merchant who fell out of the Destroyer's favor. War returned to Earth in a state of ruin, 100 years after the apocalypse. Upon meeting Vulgrim, War gained his favor by feeding the demon's hunger. Vulgrim in return gifted the Horseman with a horn to awaken the Wardens, living gatekeepers enslaved by the Destroyer, as well as information to seek out Samael. Samael was imprisoned by the Destroyer due to his fearsome power, said to rival the Dark Prince's own. Seeking Samael's prison, War defeated the Phantom General guarding it and released Samael. After a heated discussion, Samael agreed to help War for his own reasons. The Destroyer's spire was protected by 4 of his chosen, and War would need to bring the still beating hearts of each to Samael. War journeyed to the Twilight Cathedral, where the Bat Queen Tiamat had gone to roost. With a gift from Samael, travel to the region became possible while War fought through a variety of demons and the undead alike. While slaying his way to the cathedral, War happened upon the remains of the Hellguard, now led by the vengeful Uriel. She was aware of War's presence on Earth and would stop at nothing to bring him to justice for the death of Abaddon. After an aerial fight via Griffinback, War managed to find the cathedral, and Tiamat found him. War was thrown off of his mount as Tiamat chased down the griffin for her next meal. The horsemen battled through the cathedral, slaying countless undead in the abandoned catacombs and molten chambers. Even colossal flesh golems were not immune to his wrath. Finally, he found his way into Tiamat's roost and fought the Bat Queen, permanently grounding her before tearing out her heart. Upon returning Tiamat's heart to Samael, the demon was quick to point War to his next target. The Griever burrowed deep below the ground, but first War would need to deal with Ulthane, one of the Old Ones. War must confront the Black Hammer before he could fight the Griever. Samael also helped War unlock more of his former power by weakening the Watcher's control over him. With his renewed might, War made his way to the Black Hammer. Upon finding the weapon, War was unable to move it before Ulthane told the horseman to get off his property. Realizing Ulthane himself was the Black Hammer, he and War clashed briefly until the Hellguard interrupted. Ulthane and War cut through dozens of angels foolish enough to try stopping them. War even dueled with Uriel before she fled. Ulthane opened the gate to the Griever's lair, allowing War to plunge into the depths of the Griever's tunnels. Demons and other monsters blocked his path. Even the Griever attempted to kill War on a number of occasions. However, during the final confrontation, War repeatedly pummeled the Griever to death before tearing out its heart. Samael gave War his next target, the Stygian. Ancient worms now plagued the Ashlands, and a foolish band of demons began hunting the worms and eventually sought to break the Stygian, unaware of its power. Traversing the Ashlands would be difficult, but Samael imparted War with a small amount of chronomancy, the magic of controlling time, in order to make the journey. The Ashlands were a sea of ash and dust, the ashworms traveling through it like sea serpents. War would run into demons as well, eventually entering their arena to slay them and their champion. The champion rode upon a strange red horse, which War realized to be his own horse, Ruin. After earning the beast's trust again, the horseman's title was proven to be more than just a name, easily slaying dozens of demons on horseback, and even an ashworm. War finally found the Stygian's cage, killing the demons that bound it before confronting the Stygian itself. Without Ruin's help, the battle would have been an impossible task. but ultimately War managed to slay the Stygian and take its heart like the other chosen before it. Only one chosen stood in War's way before he could enter the Destroyer Spire. Silitha, the Brood Mother, was beyond the Ashlands in her web-infested lair. She was a collector of stories, keeping those she found interesting alive so they would tell her secrets. At the boundary of Silitha's lair, War was captured in webs before managing to escape once inside the spider's home. War killed many of the Broodmother's children and traversed the Iron Canopy before finally confronting Silitha. The Broodmother told War that the Chosen did not protect the Destroyer Spire, but instead protected him from Samael. Despite this new revelation, War still killed Silitha and tore out her heart. War was not pleased with Samael's deception, but the demon promised such information was irrelevant. War would still have his spire. Reluctantly, War gave the heart to Samael. Upon consuming the final heart, Samael regained his full strength and threatened to destroy War for denying his rightful power. However, Samael kept true to his word, opening a portal to the Destroyer's Spire. Samael recognized and respected War's quest for vengeance, stating he would soon learn why Samael challenged the Destroyer. As War entered the tower, he found an unexpected ally within. Azrael, the Angel of Death, was captured by the Destroyer to gain the power of the Well of Souls. Azrael was the guardian of the Well, a pool where the souls of the dead gather as they prepare for rebirth. War would aid Azrael in drawing power to the chamber, redirecting the energy throughout the tower into that room. While War was in the tower, Azrael shared the secret to the premature beginning of the apocalypse. Abaddon, angered by the continued existence of Hell and the Charred Council's demands for peace, proposed to destroy the Seven Seals to initiate the End War and wipe out the demons before it could escalate. Despite Azrael's disagreements, Abaddon continued with his plan. 6 of the 7 seals were broken, then reforged by Ulthane before the Charred Council could discover the culprit. Abaddon would not break the 7th seal, fearing the Horseman's involvement, and protected it himself. Azrael, despite his treason, would be kept alive for his usefulness. At the bottom of the tower, War and Straga fought, and ultimately the Horseman won his rematch. As the spire collapsed with Straga's death, Azrael brought War to the remains of Eden, kept hidden by the angel's power to prevent it from falling into the wrong hands. War was taken to the Tree of Knowledge to gain a vision, similar to the one Abaddon had when Azrael brought him previously. War's vision of Abaddon showed the angel's downfall, his plans playing into the hands of the demon Lilith. She made an offer to Abaddon, to serve in heaven or rule in hell. Abaddon would choose the latter, transforming into the Destroyer. The Charred Council knew of Abaddon's betrayal, but had no proof due to the unbroken seals. Fearful their inability to act would breed resistance, the Council decided to use War as a scapegoat, knowing his need for vengeance would ultimately destroy Abaddon. The remnants of the Hellguard would challenge the Destroyer before he could breach the White Gates and attack Heaven, but inevitably fail. Finally, the Watcher would betray War and kill him. As the vision ended, War found the hilt of the Armageddon blade in his hand, the sword used to destroy the 7 seals and shattered by Abaddon's order. Returning to Azrael and the Watcher, War shared what information he learned through the vision, all except the betrayal by the Charred Council. War gathered the fragments of the Armageddon blade, finding Uriel along the way. She invoked Nex Sacramentum, a death oath in a duel that left the life of those involved in the other's hand. War defeated Uriel and spared her life, telling her of Abaddon's fate to dissuade her from fighting him. War returned to Ulthane, who began reforging the broken blade from its fragments. Uriel took the remaining Hellguard to challenge Abaddon, failing as War's vision foretold. When War faced the Destroyer, the demon offered an alliance with the Horseman, to serve in heaven or rule in hell. War refused and fought the Destroyer, both on horseback and later in a duel with Abaddon. As War defeated the Destroyer, the Watcher finally betrayed the Horseman and began to kill him. In those last moments, Uriel plunged the Armageddon blade into war, completing the next sacramentum before destroying the seventh seal. With the seal broken, War's life was restored, and he crushed the Watcher to death. Uriel knelt in respect to the horseman before questioning his confidence. How could he wage a war against heaven, hell, and the Charred Council all on his own? War declared he would not be alone, as the other horsemen answered the seventh seal's call and plummeted from the sky. And that's the lore of the first Darksiders game. I'll be moving on to Darksiders 2 in the future, and eventually the novel and comics. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, farewell.